Well, thank you again, man, for hopping onto the show,
How's
coming
that?
all this way.
No, appreciate you for having me, man.
Yeah. So what was like your earliest encounter with music? Not even just making music, but just from a child.
From a child, just a backstory. My dad, he used to be in a band back in Indonesia. I was born there, and so my dad he was actually a famous musician back home, and so
Oh shit.
I just remember, sometimes we'd go on tour with him, and then there was a time as well where they had like the Indonesian Music Awards, MTV, and stuff like that, and I just saw his band just constantly getting awards, and I just remember that vividly. We were watching in my grandma's house, and so yeah, and I don't know. And then when we moved here, my dad kind of taught my siblings and I how to play the instruments, and he taught me the guitar. He taught my brother to play the drums, and then my sister kind of like the piano, and
Mm-hmm.
so then we formed a band, and so that was really kind of like the whole start of my music, just through all that.
Okay. So it runs in the family then.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah. So it's dope. It's dope. I'm very thankful for that experience.
Okay. How old were you when you moved to the United States?
I was about 6. We moved here back in 2001,
Okay.
and so yeah, it was crazy. It was a culture shock. I didn't know a lick of English, man. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know how to speak English. All I knew was like hi and bye.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to talk to people, and it was just definitely a culture shock because like back home in Indonesia, you just see your people in a sense.
Yeah.
Over here, I mean, there's different like cultures and ethnicities, and so
What's a native language in Indonesia?
Indonesian.
Okay.
So yeah, we still I still speak Indonesian fluently.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So,
Do you remember a lot of like Indonesia, like your home back then?
Not really, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Not really. I don't remember too much of it because,
Yeah.
I mean, like we moved here fairly young, so
Yeah.
it's like my mind's just kind of just.
Do you guys know why you moved or just opportunity?
I feel like opportunity for sure. My parents sacrificed their like careers back home just so my siblings and I can have like a better education here.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Right. So
Okay.
parent sacrifice.
Nice. All right.
Mhm.
So I know you mentioned the band with your siblings, but what was like the first thing you ever recorded, like yourself?
The first thing I recorded with myself, actually was way back. I think 2009, and my friend came through. We used to live in Loma Linda. He came through with his gear, and then I was working on like this bullshit ass EP. You know what I mean? But it was just so it was dope because it was kind of like the start of like my whole like, oh snap, this is like I like this a lot.
Yeah.
So, but that was for sure like the first like start of it all. Thanks to him, he came through with his mic and his laptop. I didn't understand how to control anything at the
Mhm.
time, and so he recorded me, and then from there, yeah.
Right on. Okay. So when did you come up with the name Reggie Levy?
So Regi Levy is actually my name.
Okay.
My full name is actually Regi Leviandra.
Okay.
But it wasn't until like 2007 or 8 I just kind of shortened it, and because it looked even, and it was just 8 letters and Regi Levy, and I kind of designed my logo with like the R, L, and the big ass E, G, and V, and the big ass I, and so you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
that's really how I came about it. Like funny background story, man. My last name. So in Indonesia, it's actually like it's very common where parents kind of name their kid's last name.
Mm.
So my whole family, we actually all have different last names.
Really?
Yeah, and
Okay.
some people are like, oh, are you guys adopted or something like that? But not because like my last name actually comes from the brand Levi's. And
Oh,
so my
shit.
parents, when they were like in their talking phase, whatever, and, while they're married or whatever, they their favorite brand was actually Levi's, and that's really how I got my last name, is because yeah.
Really? So their
Right.
full name, what did you say, was Levi Andre?
Leviandra, yeah.
Levi Andre. Damn, that's pretty dope. You named after
Yeah.
jeans.
It's
Did
crazy.
did they have like the jeans company over there or what?
Oh yeah,
Indonesian?
Levi's is pretty big, yeah.
Okay.
Back home as well. I mean, worldwide, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
Underestimated them.
Yeah. Levi's is a huge company for sure.
Okay. So who were some, like, outside of your pops, who was like some of your like other musical influences?
See, that differs a lot because growing up, I used to. I wasn't a big fan of hip hop at all, and so I used to just always listen to bands, like Paramore and Fall Out Boys, and see, I can't even think of something.
Green Day?
Oh, Green Day for sure,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Panic at the Disco?
Panic at the Disco. So all like the whole rock scene, the emo scene, all those, you know what I mean, those
Yeah.
bands, bro. Boys Like Girls and all that, and I was just always so heavy into that. They for sure, like one of my like musical inspirations. But then as soon as I start to get into hip hop, you know, I start to, because when it comes to like rap and hip hop, I had to teach myself about that. I didn't grow up in a house where Saturdays, Sundays, my parents were banging like hip hop music,
Yeah.
you know, in the crib. So I kind of just had to like learn from friends and whatnot. And so but yeah, it was crazy. But then even when I was listening to like rock music at the time, or like, you know, indie music, whatever, you know, you had Eminem, 50 Cent,
Mhm.
Game, and Kanye West, Jay-Z, and all in that early 2000 era. So
Yeah.
I kind of just grew fond of it. And I was like, wow, this is dope, you know. And so
That's cool that like you pull from like different outside of hip hop and rap too, because I mean when I listen to your music, it's like very unique. It's not.
I
It
appreciate
doesn't
that.
sound like a lot of other music that like people try and make, and
Right.
you know, so people are always trying to ride different waves and
Right,
whatnot and try and mimic another artist. But yours is very unique. It stands out, but I think it's because you, like you just mentioned, you pull from different like sources. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah. It was. It's dope. It's dope. That's why I feel like as a music artist, you have to kind of like be open and mindful to different genres.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because really there's no such thing as a bad genre, and that's really how my brother and I, we kind of started this little group that we got going on, or like collective. We called it a bad genre because there's really no such thing as a bad genre. In any genre, just kind of like movies, kind of like books, whatever. There's somebody who's gonna be a fan of it no matter what, you know. So shit's crazy.
All right. How'd you start that collective? You said it's called a bad genre.
Yeah. So my brother came up with the name, and then we've always talked, and you know, I've always just told him like, yo, one day like let's just start a collective, or like, you know, in hopes to become a label. So
Yeah.
all in due time. But
okay.
Yeah, it'd be dope. It'd be dope. But right now, you know, just a bunch of the homies and whatnot. So
nice. Do you guys look up to any other collectives or groups like that?
Me personally, growing up, for sure, Odd Future.
Yeah.
The Pro Era, Joey Badass. That was like, you know, I mean, TDE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are definitely like dominated like a YouTube era, and even like Dat Piff and
Dat Piff. Like, I remember that. Yeah.
Downloading mixtapes and shit. You know, like that was like such a big. Those were the groups, you know.
Right. Yeah. Damn, I remember that Piff era, and like they have a something, I forgot what it was called. It was like a gorilla. You know what I'm talking about? No. I would always just download shit from there.
Probably. There's like a bunch of different sites like that. It wasn't LimeWire, right?
No. LimeWire was a classic though.
Yeah, of course. Man.
Hella viruses from that shit, man. Shit was
like,
crazy.
Mom, why is it viruses?
Right.
Why is it viruses on the computer?
Hella viruses.
Yeah. Not on.
Yeah.
So, when did you first start making like music that sounds like the music that you make now? Like, where was the growth or the process on how that began?
I think it's when I just started to listen to more music. I mean, just opening up my ears to just more sounds, and especially when it came to like the whole SoundCloud era back in like 2013, 2014, 15, 16, you know what I mean? You know, and that's when autotune was for sure like picking up. And so I like to sing. I'm not a great singer. You know, I can sing, but I'm not a great singer. So, but I can also tell when someone's off key and whatnot. And so that's why I use autotunes, because I feel like it helped me a lot. You know what I mean? And so, and it was dope because it's like everybody was rarely just getting on board with that. And I remember I dropped a mixtape back in like 2014, 15, and it was just full of autotune. And then I had some old friends are like, oh man, like, dude, it's too much autotune, this and that, or like, fuck autotune. And now they're using it. So it's like, you know what I mean? But it's just like, you just gotta try to like, not really hop on the wave, but it's just like, you have to be able to be versatile as an artist. That's why like I salute Drake, because this man came out back in 2006, 2007, he's still going, you know what I mean? So and he just knows what's hot, and he just plugs himself in each and every shit because he just knows what's hot.
Right, he can always adapt to like what's kind of in,
And that's what you got to do. I feel like the best artist knows how to adapt to, you know what I mean, whatever is going on right now, just because it's relevant, whatever, and he just taps in. I mean, when Migos dropped Versace. I mean, he
Yeah.
hopped on that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and freaking Block Boy JB, he hopped on that, and so like he knows what's hot, bro, and he helps them out, and then just kind of bounce out. That's how I see it. But it's just like, damn, salute to that man.
Yeah, but even going back to the auto-tune like conversation, it reminds me of like we were too young to remember, but like the internet.
Right.
Like, a lot of people were against the internet. They thought it was gonna be bad, but like at the end of the day, like they should have seen like the power of the internet and what it was gonna do, and like that's kind of like auto-tune. It reminds me, like, even though people are against it, like look at the industry now. Like a lot of people use auto-tune, which is kind of like so common. Like, so even if you hate it, like you gotta understand like what it's capable of, what its potential is, you know, and try and ride that wave, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like that you brought that up, because I mean, like, it's really true how like now, back then when you want to become a recording artist, you have to have talent. Like I'm just saying, like you have to legit know somebody. You have to have a proper management label, whatever, to put you inside a studio. Now we have affordable mics. Now we have affordable studio times, and now everybody just records music, you know. And so, and then now we have platforms such as Instagram. I mean, SoundCloud. Now TikTok. Like what's crazy is that like people from TikTok, it's like they are getting signed to labels just because they have clout, and labels aren't looking for people no more. They don't want to get somebody from the ground, kind of build them up, because that's a waste of their money. They'd want to get someone who already has clout and just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna sign you just because you already have the amount of followers that we're looking for. So let's try to work with you, drop some shit, and then boom, you know what I mean? So it's crazy. It's kind of messed up how I see it though, because it's like, I don't know, man. Like it's just because like all these like artists who are actually talented, they're always just getting, you know what I mean, like no love, or and they get overlooked for sure because of just artists who, or you know, even not even artists, but like people who make funny content on TikTok, Instagram, and they get signed and just drop a song just because, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy how like the whole game changed, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
You have to adapt to it. So.
Yeah. Well, speaking of social media, I believe you posted something about you took a social media break. How do you maneuver the use of social media for your art, posting music, or just even personal life and stuff? How do you navigate through that?
So the reason for my break was because I work as an audio engineer, and I've been getting booked nonstop, and I got to the point where it's like, damn, dude, I started to become unmotivated with myself and uninspired, because it's like I was working with so many other artists that I start to like lose my creativity, you know. And so and when I get home, I don't even want to do anything or do shit about music, and I don't want to even hear music just because I'm just like over it, you know. And so I told the guys, I was like, yo, I'm gonna just take a week break off, and which I did last week, and kind of just, you know, stayed away from music and the studio. But you know, as an artist, we have to. That's the problem for me though, because it's hard, man. As an artist, anything art, you have to use social media, because that's how you get yourself out there. Not just to like your friends, whatever, to the world, you know what I mean? We live in a social media era, and we have to kind of showcase ourselves. And it's just hard. It's always that struggle with me personally, like, damn, I want to post, but I don't want to overpost. Or like, let's say I do post, but it's like, damn, I'm not getting the proper likes that I want, or I'm not getting the proper engagement that I got, you know what I mean? And so and the Instagram algorithm is just so confusing nowadays, bro, because it's like I'll post a post and then boom, it shoots up whatever, you know what I mean? I get the proper engagements, interactions, and then but then my story views would drop, or my story views will be at a good, you know what I mean, thousands, whatever, but then my likes will drop, and it's just like, how do I defeat this shit? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, bro. Like, you don't, it's very hard, man. Like, I feel like they make it against, you know what I mean, artists, and you just got to find a way to kind of like, I don't know, battle that or something. So it's just tough, you know. So, but that's some like shit that I for sure be struggling with, just because it's just like I want to get myself out there properly, you know. But it's hard when, you know, you have a company that, you know, I don't know. So. Yeah,
I struggle with that too, even with the podcast. Like,
right.
You know, I want to promote on the page of the social medias, and you know, sometimes I get caught number watching though. You know, like this post will do, and I think like, okay, I select this clip. It's kind of like not my favorite clip, but it's a clip that I think will do good.
Right.
It does better than my favorite clip because I post a favorite clip later, and it's just like, all right, this got less views. So it's kind of tricky, and it kind of gets frustrating. So you gotta find that balance of like how not to. Not pay attention, but like I guess care too much or be too invested in the numbers, you know.
But that's definitely where I feel like the unhealthiness and like the whole mental illness of social media comes in. It's just because we're so just, I guess, addicted to just looking at the numbers and just like, damn, bro, like, why didn't I, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Like,
you ever watch that documentary on Netflix, The Social Dilemma?
No, I've heard about it, but yeah.
You gotta check that shit out. Have you guys watched it?
No, I haven't watched it.
Yeah, check that out, because it talks about that, how like the apps, they're all free, right? And so like there was a quote where it was like, if apps are free, then the thing like that's being sold is like our time. So we're spending so much time on there, they're competing for our time with Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those different apps, right? And you know, they're constantly maneuvering and adapting their algorithm so that we can constantly stay on there longer and longer. But also, like, you know, they talked about like the mental health effects and just like how people get like anxious with it, depressed because of it, or all kinds of different stuff with it. And it's pretty crazy. It's honestly like they go super in depth. There's like a lot of science backing it, but they also like interview a lot of different people in documentaries. So
it's legit a mental illness, man. Like, I mean, I'm sure we've came across like some friends or just people we know on Instagram who really try to act like they're famous or whatever, but they're really not. And it's just like, you know what I mean? Or like, and sometimes when people would buy followers or likes just to try to like, just to try to be like, oh, like I'm the shit online. But it's like, bro, we know you buy it. Or, you know what I mean? Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, you see cats with like 10,000 plus followers, but then only get like 100 likes or 50 likes, and it just doesn't add up, bro. It's because they're shadow banned, and not that many people know what shadow banning is, you know, and you gotta, you know what I mean? More, if you use third-party apps for Instagram, you can get shadow banned. If you buy followers, buy likes, buy views, all that shit, you get shadow banned. You know what I mean? You're not gonna pop up in the explore page. You're not gonna pop up in people's feed. You're not gonna pop. It's just crazy. There's a lot of shit. You know what I mean?
Damn.
So, yeah.
It's crazy how all that works.
Yeah, bro. I've just been trying to learn how to kind of like, how do I, you know what I mean? Because I mean, I feel like as an artist or just anyone who's like into business or trying to put themselves out, you have to kind of understand what you are using, because Instagram, all these other social media apps, they're the tools, you know what I mean, for us. And so you just gotta learn how to use these tools. So.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. It's like the yellow pages. You know, I think of like businesses on Instagram, whether it's like a lawn service or, you know, freaking people who make like clothes or whatever. Like they can promote there, and like, but back then, like before, like in our parents' generation, they were using the yellow pages. Like, where can I get this? Where can I get that on the newspaper? Or
newspapers,
like that. Yeah, so it's a lot different, I think, and I think. In hindsight, you can say it's better because it's a lot more accessible, but then it's just a lot more trickier. You know, it's not you're just putting an ad out on the paper or on this Yellow Pages book or whatever. That there's a whole tricky algorithm to it. But I mean, it's definitely like, I think what I've learned from my use of social media is like you gotta clean like what you're following. You know, and I think like I've recently like kind of follow more wholesome accounts, or like accounts that have like good quotes or just like good like positive vibes, good energy, kind of, you know, good stuff. And I feel like that's helped my use of social media not be so addicted to it, and like not also like care too much like about being on it so much, you know. Yeah,
I feel that.
That's facts, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
Facts, bro.
Yeah, you gotta change up your algorithm.
Instagram's like news nowadays.
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
News,
I completely agree. But that's also why like I follow like Say Cheese TV and academics, just because it's just like I also just want to know what's going on in like the hip hop culture as well, or just, you know what I mean, just what's going on in just music, you know, what's popping right now or this and that, and so
it definitely feels like every other day though, like, you know, there's always something bad that's getting posted on social media.
That's true.
And that's, you know, that's the ugly reality, I feel like, sometimes of the world, but you just gotta find that balance, you know. Right on.
It's hella tricky for sure. I don't know. And like I don't even like TikTok. I was on TikTok maybe for like a span of a month, but I was just like, this is not me, you know. I don't know. There's just lots of disrespectful people now, you know what I mean? And like I see kids nowadays thinking it's funny to smack their parents and put it online,
bro,
and stuff like that. To me, it's just like that's not even funny, you know.
No.
And that's what, like, I don't know. It shows. And let's be honest, a lot of users on TikToks are kids, and so they see this and that, and, you know, just ass shaking, titties bouncing, whatever, and just, you know, kids just smacking their parents with whatever. It's like, bro, I don't know. To me, that's not even funny, bro. Like, or like, I mean, sometimes I'll share these guys, like, we share like back and back. We're like, I mean, you've probably seen it where like they're at the grocery store and like they toss shit at people's head and act like they don't know who it was. And it's like, I mean, I guess it's kind of funny, but seeing too much of that is just like, all right, bro, like that can that's just imagine if that was your parents at the other end. You know what I mean? It's bro, like that's not like I don't know, bro. You know, so.
And whenever I see stuff like that, I always ask, would they do it if they weren't being filmed?
Right.
Would there be any motivation to do something like that?
Right.
If you weren't being filmed?
No, they weren't. They won't do it at all because obviously it's just for the clout. It's just for the attention. It's for the, you know what I mean? For online and
yeah. That's what I hate. I mean, the parent thing kind of bugs me because you know, like especially like my parents, if I ever hit them, they'd be like, "What the fuck," you know. But I think also too, like you said, like random people at the grocery store. I think I forgot what that party thing is called, where you like pull it and it shoots confetti. And I've seen people do that. They're like, and it's like, oh, what was that? You know, it's like, I don't know, man. That seems. That's like it's gonna draw you bad karma, you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like, damn. What if it was like your grandma at the other end? You know what I mean? Or somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't know. People just don't think about stuff like that, and to me, it's just like that's just highly disrespectful. I can't. I don't know. I can't do that. I mean, I feel like it'd be better if it was planned. Let's just say, you know what I mean? You and your homie are like, hey, you know what I mean? Whatever, then solid. But like, but then still, like at the grocery store, whatever, and knocking down drinks or whatever, that's kind of like, you know what I mean? I don't know, bro. I don't tolerate stuff like that. It's just like, man, like some of these people, they just want to work and like, but then like, now they got to clean up some mess. And I don't know, man.
Do you remember? I mean, this was before TikTok, I think, but this was like before COVID too. People were taking the ice cream from like stores and then licking it and putting it back. Like that was so gross.
Yeah.
Why were people doing that?
And then there was that girl who got like hella years just for doing that.
Yeah, good. I hope she stays there.
Yeah, for real. I don't know how people. I don't know, man.
It's interesting.
It's super interesting, but it's just like that's why it's like, man, I feel like as a society, we're like flopping, bro. Like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, because it's the instant gratification of social media. I think that hurts it. Yeah. I mean, there's positives and negatives to social media and phones and technology.
Yeah, most definitely, I agree.
Yeah, I think, I know one of my favorite artists is J. Cole, and he talks about that, you know, like putting substance in music and putting substance in anything, I feel like is kind of going by the wayside. And like you said, it's whatever gets the most likes, clicks. That's kind of what's more popular. That's what the kids are listening to. That's what they want to read or see.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like, man, music for sure has been kind of just dumbed down. It's more so now, who can go viral? Who can make a song that goes viral? And every song, that's why all these TikTok songs have lots of hard-hitting 808s and just because kids can dance to it, hit the wall, whatever, you know what I mean? And so all that shit is just, you know what I mean? It's just for, okay, let's make a song, let's go viral, and then people can dance to it, and then boom. I don't know, man. To me, that's just so tacky, but I get it. I get it, but it's just like,
because you've seen other people get successful off of that.
Right,
and I think that's why,
And now people are like, well, I think I'm going to do it. And so, I don't know. But I don't think there's like longevity in that at all. Not at all, you know what I mean? So, but then, you got people like J. Cole and Kendrick where they, for sure, I feel like them two are for sure the only like rap artists who, I wouldn't say they're boom bap, but very lyrical, you know what I mean? And they're still going on to this day. And they started back in 2009, and you know what I mean? So it's like they just, because you had 2012 to 2014 or 2015 was probably like, in my opinion, like one of like the best eras for hip hop music, especially when we were in high school. You got TDE, you had Schoolboy Q, you had Absol and J Rock, and you know what I mean, and you had Odd Future and just Joey Badass and his camp, Flatbush Zombies and all these guys, ASAP, bro, and all that, and it was just dope. You know what I mean? There was no like bullshit ass like just
there was, but they weren't getting like, I remember Hobson was kind of a thing.
Okay, right? But Hobson, in my opinion, like he knew what he was doing. Like, he's a genius. Kind of just like who is it? Kind of like Tyler the Creator. Like he knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? So they know how to do it, but it's not more so like, oh, I'm just gonna make music just for dances and videos and to go viral. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So sticking with the subject, why do you make music? Or what's the inspiration to make music the way you do?
I make music specifically just because it's my passion. I don't see myself doing nothing else on this earth, man.
Okay.
I really don't see myself doing nothing else on this earth. After high school, I went to college and I wanted to become like I took business classes, you know, and then I was like, man, I'm not the smartest Asian, bro. Like, I'm not good with math. I'm not good with numbers, you know. I mean, simple math for sure. You have to, you got to know your math, you know. But when it comes to business, it's just like there's so much shit that like I don't really care about, man. This is not me. And so then I switched to psychology, and I was like, God, this is really not me. I mean, like I don't care, like, you know what I mean, like for like how people think. In a sense, I don't know, man, because it's just like. I think about the careers. So say you go to college and then you get a degree and then like, okay, so what do you do after that? What are like the career lines for you? You know what I mean? So like if let's just say I do graduate or I did graduate and then I get like a psych degree, I'm gonna be stuck in a dead end, like, you know what I mean? Like a job where it's like, I'm gonna just some therapy or whatever, just my opinion. So it's just like, that's not me, you know? I want to do something fun. And so I want to do something fun that I love doing, which is music, and that's why I've stuck by it for so long. Like my brothers and sisters, they don't even do music no more. My brother acts as my manager though, and he's a business major, and so it kind of works out well. You know what I mean? Now he acts as my manager, and he kind of like gets me around and kind of links me up with some people and stuff. So yeah,
that's tight.
Yeah, I just don't see myself doing nothing else, and I really can't see myself doing nothing else. I like. Whether I'm recording somebody or whether I'm just an artist myself performing, there's no other feeling like it, bro.
Okay.
It's like every time before a performance, it feels like when I go to Six Flags and like I'm just waiting on that line to go on the roller coaster. You know what I mean? Because you get nervous as shit. You know, you see that drop, you're like, oh fuck, man, like, you know what I mean? You get nervous, but then as soon as you go through it, you want to do it again. Yeah. And that's how performing feels like for me. Like I get nervous, I get shaky. You could ask like the homie KO, my brother, my friend David, who's our DJ. Every time before a show, bro, they know not to talk to me because I'm nervous. I'm pacing back and forth, you know what I mean? And I'm just quiet as shit because I'm just so nervous. And but after we perform, I just want to get back on stage again, you know. So it's that feeling.
Okay. Do you do anything, like, have you learned to do anything that helps calm your nerves or no?
No.
Nothing?
No. I embrace it now, you know what I mean? Because I feel like the day that I stop feeling that way is probably the day that I'm gonna stop music. You get what I'm saying? Because it's just like, okay, it's normal now. So
okay.
I'm hoping it doesn't go away, and thank God it hasn't gone away. You know what I mean? Every single time, no matter if I'm performing in front of 10 people, 100 people, 150, 200, 1,000 people, bro, I get shaky. I remember I performed at a sold-out show. I opened up for Ja Rule and Ashanti.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God, bro. I was nervous as hell, man. I was nervous, bro. Just because it's like, it was a lot of, like, older cats, too. I mean, they listen to Ja Rule and Ashanti. So I was just like, oh, man, am I going to do this correctly or this and that?
Yeah.
It was a good show. So.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Where was it at?
It was at the Fox Theater in Pomona.
Oh, okay, nice.
It was crazy because I remember like 2015, one of my first, not a first hip hop show, but I saw Schoolboy Q with my friends, 15 or 16. But after the show, I told my guys, I was like, yo, I'm gonna perform here one day, you know what I mean? And then 2017, you know, they were like, oh, we're looking for an opener for P&B Rock, and I was like, yo, I fucks with P&B Rock, bro. Like, and then that's how I met 80 and them, bro. Like, yeah, we all linked up. We just met that day, and then we exchanged numbers, and ever since we've been like tight, you know what I mean? And so that's why I don't know. I love the networking and connection and the people that you meet, you know, and so and you grow a bond. Now we're playing Warzone sometimes online and shit like that. So.
And I think it's cool to see how like other creatives think, you know, like because you guys are all creators, you guys are all artists at the end of the day. You guys have such different processes of how you go about things, and
exactly.
Even with the podcast, like I draw different inspiration from artists or painters, you know, all kinds of different people, you know, that they're not even doing podcasts, but I'm just like, oh, like I can somehow incorporate it in this, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, bro, I've always just thought of like doing a podcast as well, but it's just like, damn, I don't know what the hell like I would talk about, or, you know?
Yeah.
I want to kind of do like a mukbang, you know what that is?
Yeah.
Just me and by some homies, just like we're eating some like wings or like shrimps or whatever. And you know what I mean?
Like some boiling crab.
Yeah, bro, I don't know, that sounds dope.
Yeah. I feel like
I'm
too messy of an eater, though. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't do it.
The mic would just pick up all the smack in the lips and
whatnot. It turned into ASMR, you know?
Oh, man.
So going back to what you said, like you can't see yourself doing anything
Mm-hmm.
else on this world other than making music.
Mm-hmm.
Like at what age did you kind of realize that for you?
Right. So probably like I'd say in high school, bro. In high school, just another backstory. I used to go to Redlands High School my freshman and sophomore year. That was back in like 2009 till about 2011. And then 2011, I moved to Upland, and then that's when I started my junior year at Upland High School, and I hated it. I didn't like it. I just wanted to go back with my friends and whatnot. But I'm thankful that I stayed in Upland, you know, because they had more shit to do than in Redlands High School.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of talent shows, and that's when I first kind of just got the feel of performing solo, you know. And so I did a talent show, and I was just like, whoa, like this is dope. And ever since, I just kept doing talent shows.
Nice.
Talent shows. I've opened up for like the school hip hop shows and stuff like that, you know. And yeah, I loved it.
Damn, that's
you
dope.
know, and so ever since, it's just like, yo, I want to keep doing this. And
Were you
that's why-
nervous then too?
Oh
in your
yeah,
performances?
for sure.
All right.
For sure. Every performance, man, like I get nervous no
Mhm.
matter what, you know. There are some performances where I'm just kind of like, oh, you know what I mean? It's a small show.
Mhm.
But then even then, if it's like I said, I mean, 10 people, 15 people in the crowd, I'll still get nervous, you know.
Yeah.
But just probably not as big as, you know what I mean, like a bigger crowd. So.
Right on. Now you mentioned your Indonesian background earlier. Do you have you thought about either like performing out there, or do you like have a fan base out there? Like how do you spread your music to?
Yeah, no,
your
all
homeland?
in due time. All in due time. So that's why I say that this the quarantine was actually like a pro for me. A pro, there are pros and cons for sure, but one of the biggest pros is that like I wanted to reach back out to Indonesia and kind of build a supporting base out there. And so I told my brother that back in like 2019. And then when COVID actually hit, you know, I was like, damn, I was stuck. No shows, no nothing. Studios, everything was closed. So I was like, damn, what am I gonna do? So I'm just put a little game out right now. But what I've been doing is every post that I post, if it's a video, I utilize the Instagram promotion. And some people are like, oh, that's basically buying likes and shit like that, but it's really not, because you're buying promotion. You're utilizing what Instagram is giving you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I always use a promotion. So I promote it, but not to here. I promote it out there. I'll put all the big cities out there: Jakarta, Indonesia; Bali, Indonesia; you know, Surabaya, and just Indonesia. One of my old videos, and then this rapper hit me up. He saw it. He's like, "Yo, dope!" What flame emojis, and saw it. And I was like, "Oh shit!" His name was Ben Utomo. He's a Indonesian rapper who signed under Def Jam Indonesia out there in Universal. So I contacted him. I was like, "Yo, bro, what's up?" He's like, "Yo, what's up?" We started talking, and then I got a feature from him.
Nice.
And so from there, I started to build my network back home. You know what I mean? While I'm over here, which is crazy. And now I have good listeners back home, and they support me. So anything that I post, whatever, and now I just, you know, but still I still do it no matter what song. Like Hale and I have a song coming up. Hopefully we're gonna release it next month, and so I'm for sure gonna just send it back over there.
Nice.
Because I like again, like we live in a social media world, so it's like don't focus on just where you're at. Focus where, you know what I mean? Like why not? So it's like just say, you don't have to be like from a specific country. Just say like if you were born here, okay, like you're not from anywhere else, but try to like send your shit out to France. Try to send your shit out to Spain. Try to, you know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, you might build a following over there, and
That's the power of the internet,
yeah,
you know?
and not that many people think about that, because it's just like, oh, I'm trying to just make it out my whatever, but it's like it's not how it works, man. Like nowadays you can just live well off of streaming. You know what I mean? Just stream money and like, you know, a couple 2,000 a month or whatever, 3,000, and then so on, it gets bigger and bigger. So I don't know. So I'm just trying it out, but I'm thankful that it's been working for me. So now I have like listeners in Indonesia, in Malaysia, and Singapore, and you know what I mean. So, and the craziest shit was when I worked with another Indonesian guy. His name was Pretty Rico, and we dropped a song called 6-2, which is the area code for Indonesia. But the biggest country that listened to it was in Japan.
Oh.
And I was just like, what? You know what I mean? So it was dope, bro, because it was just like, it was just so weird, you know? It went like Japan, Indonesia, then the United States. And I was just like, wow.
Nice. Now you gotta have a Japanese area code
all
on the
in
song.
due time, you know? So, all in due time. So, but God willing, one day when I do go back, I was telling the guys, I was like, you know, if I do go back, the first thing I'm gonna do for sure is like visit my grandma's grave. I want to just visit her. But then second, I want to throw a show out there because they will for sure be accepting of just outsiders, Americans coming into their country and back home and just doing a show. I don't know. So I just have so many ideas, but it's just all in due time. You know. So
what would you say is one? You can say like common misunderstanding from like Indonesian culture, because I mean I feel like growing up here, at least in Orange County, a lot of Vietnamese, a lot of Korean, a lot of Chinese people, but I haven't met a whole lot of Indonesian. So I guess what would you say from your personal experience, like what misunderstanding do people have about Indonesian culture?
I don't know. I'm not really too sure. I mean, we look like Filipinos. Some people say, oh, you're Filipino? I'm like, nah, I'm Indonesian.
Okay.
Some of us look Hispanic. Like I get that my brother looks Hispanic a lot sometimes.
Okay.
I don't know, but I don't know, but a fact that Indonesia is actually like 90% Muslim. We are a huge Muslim country. So when people think of Islam, they think of Arabs. They think of long beards and you know what I mean, and just Arabs, bro. Yeah. But they look like me, bro. You know what I mean? Like we have the biggest populated like Muslim country is Indonesia.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Not that many people know that, but it's just a fact right there. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't know.
Okay. When was Ramadan already passed this year then, right?
Yeah. Ramadan was April this year, right? I don't know. I forgot.
In May.
Yeah.
It was May.
April, May, something like that.
Is that something you practiced ever since you were a child then?
Yeah, man. I remember when we were kids.
I knew that.
We kind of when you're little, parents don't force the kids to fast. Just whenever they're ready and so. But sometimes we'd fast till about like noon and then we'd break our fast. But as soon as you get older, for sure, you'd have to try to just do the whole thing. But I remember, me, my brother, and my friend, and I, we used to bullshit it, bro. Like as bad as it sounds, because we used to skate, and so I tell my parents, oh yeah, we're fasting, and then we'd skate and get thirsty. It's like shit, and so we'd go to like Rite Aid and buy Arizona and actually break our fast, and then come back home, act like we didn't break our fast, and so. But I mean, we were kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now it's like I try to just be in the zone through it all. So
yeah, that's gotta be tough, especially skating. You're sweating a lot, you're falling a lot.
It's hard, bro, because not that many people know, but like during Ramadan, you can't even drink water.
Right.
Yeah. And so I remember PE in high school and middle school. You have to do the mile runs and you have to swim and you get tired, bro.
Yeah.
So and there are some days where I'm just like, man, I'm trying to break my fast, but I just kept it. You know what I mean? Just thugged it out, bro. So just kept going, but yeah, it was hectic. I'm glad that like I don't have to go through that again, but I know there's kids out there who are going through that, during Ramadan. It's just like, man, I wish. I mean, now I know that they have like some alternative for kids who are doing Ramadan, and like they just have to like write an essay or whatever. And
oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, that sucks though. I'd rather just run. Like, I'd rather swim or something. I'd get thirsty, but I'd rather do that than like write an essay.
In PE, right?
Yeah, for real. It's like what?
All right. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but like the whole point of Ramadan and that fast is to like practice your discipline, correct?
Correct. It's so in that month of Ramadan, you have to stay away from not just food, but also you have to, can't smoke, you can't have sex, you can't just anything that that gives us kind of like a, what's the word I'm looking for, like not satisfaction kind of, on this earth, but and so just kind of just humble yourselves, and also kind of like it really teaches you to humble yourself as well, and kind of like understand how people who really don't have it feel. There are some kids in like other countries who wake up starving and don't know what to eat and don't have nothing to eat, and they got to do something, and sometimes we're over here complaining about the slightest shit. Oh man, I don't have food, but then it's like there's we still have some bread in the like pantry.
Got bread and bologna.
Yeah, something like that. So it's like yeah, it really teaches you a lot, bro. It humbles me down for sure. So.
That was one. I had a friend in high school. I still friends with him, but I met him through high school, and I remember like right after high school, he asked like our group of friends to fast with him for a weekend, remember that was like a dope experience, like just going through that.
That's
That's
crazy.
just so inspirational. He kind of like, you know, I kind of drew that from him too. Bro.
Yeah.
You know, I started getting into that too. Like, all right, catch me next year. I got you.
Oh yeah, I took him to the mosque on Friday too.
Okay.
Recently, yeah, bro. So, but
yeah, that's what's up. I think that's like important. You know, even like I just think stuff like that, like getting to know other people's cultures is huge too. I mean, you look at like all the racial shit that people have been going through this past year that we've seen on social media. I think it's a lot of it is just because there's a lack of perspective, you know, and some people are so secluded into their own, whatever race or ethnicity or religious group they are part of, they're so secluded into theirs, so that they automatically think of other groups as like bad because they don't know, they never lived next to a Latino or next to a Muslim. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah.
It's just also like how the Western media portrays
individual
groups, you know?
Yeah.
Because like, you know, like that's like one of my biggest issues. It's like, bro, like Western media, like the media portrays Muslims as terrorists and this and that, and they always align Islam with like Al Qaeda or Islam with whoop-de-whoop, you know what I mean? Whereas like, but they never correlate Christianity with the KKK, you know what I mean? So it's like
how it was founded.
Yeah.
How it was really founded. Like,
Yeah.
I was just talking to them about that.
Yeah.
The Crusades too.
Yeah,
you mean?
it's crazy. Yeah, and they kill and like, you know what I mean? And like burn the cross, and I'm just like, bro, like I don't know. And they see like a Muslim woman with a hijab, and they she's oppressed.
Yeah.
But then they see a nun who's covered, and it's like, oh, she's so devoted to religion. But it's just like, bro, that's so backwards. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in Islam, we don't force nothing on anybody. If the girl doesn't want to wear the hijab, she doesn't have to. If she's ready, then she wears it. You know what I mean? But nobody. If her parents or her dad forces her to wear the hijab, that's his fault. You can't force nobody. You can't force anything down someone's throat. Like even religion itself, you know. And I was just telling the homie yesterday, like it's funny sometimes how like the people who claim to be most religious are the most judgmental.
Oh hell yeah!
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're going to hell and this and that, but it's like, man, just let them live their life, man. If you're really living your life by your religion and by the book, you know not to say those things. You know, just to live life. You know what I mean? Just as long as just live yourself, live your own life, and don't even worry about what other people are doing. You know, like, and if they want to do this and that, let them be. So it doesn't affect you. So like, why should you trip out on what they do? So just how I see things.
Yeah, and I think too, at the end of the day, regardless of what religion you are, like a lot of people have similar, you know, individual goals, but also like groupthink goals too. You know what I mean? Like we're not too different than the person sitting across from us that has a different religion. You know?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, we're all like have similar ideas in mind. Not super similar, but you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
We got deep quick.
We like to do that here from time to time.
I feel that. That's dope.
Going back to your music, man, what else do you have coming out in the year 2021?
I just shot a video on Wednesday for a upcoming single that KO and I are about to release in July. And then after that, but I'm going to drop an album. And this album is going to be actually just filled with just Indonesian features, like Indonesian artists. And so I'm going to call it the Indonesia versus Everybody.
Hey, okay.
And it's also just a way to kind of like bridge the gap between Indonesia and here in the States.
Yeah.
You know, have people out there basically kind of bring their music over here while I try to market myself out there as well. You know, so it's like just a marketing tactic that I'm trying to utilize, you know.
Yeah.
So.
That's dope, but it's from your roots too. You're not doing it for like a bad reason. You mean you're not like an outsider trying to do that, this and that and the other. That's tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's really it that I'm focusing on. I'm just gonna do the album and then maybe a couple music videos and who knows from there. You know, so I don't know, man. It's just I can't feel stagnant for too long, or else I get just like into my head, and that's kind of like the reason why I kind of gave myself a break last week, because I was just always. I felt stagnant. I was always in the studio and I didn't, you know what I mean? I was like, man, I want to do something different.
Yeah.
So that's why. And it was just random too. Like when we shot the video on Wednesday, I told Kale, like, yo, let's just shoot a video Wednesday. All right, fuck it, let's go. You know, so we just did it. Yeah,
and I think that's what, for at least the creative output in my experience, like you need to live life. You know, you can't be so structured. You can't have like the same. I'm a person who doesn't like routine. And to a certain extent, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain things I do want to do routinely before I go to bed or wake up or whatever. But on a day-to-day basis, like, if I have the same thing, like, Monday through Friday or whatever, Tuesday through Sunday, like, that'll drive me crazy.
Right.
You know? I like to go out and do just random shit. Wake up one day and be like, I don't have any plans. And then someone hits me up and it's like, all right, we're doing that today, you know?
And that's why, like, I feel like, me personally, I can't, that's why I tell you, like, this music is the only thing that I love doing, because I just, say if I were to just continue and pursue, like, a business career or whatever, it's just like, it's just gonna be a, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, no disrespect to my friends who are in those fields, and I have friends who are, like, nurses and just doctors, but it's just like, man, like, I don't know, I wouldn't like that, you know? I just have hella just goals in my head, man, like in dreams of just that one day, I wake up in a new city every single day and you know, do tour or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wake up in like Houston one day. Oh yeah, I got a show tomorrow in New York or something. You know, so it's something different. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just always a goal of mine.
Okay. Shit. Do you have any like dream venues to perform at?
For sure. I mean, around my area, or around the area of like SoCal, I'm not trying to boast, but I've pretty much touched the ones that I've already wanted to perform. You know, I've always wanted to perform at the Observatory, the Novo, the Glass House in Pomona, the Fox Theater in Pomona, and I've performed, you know, at all these places that I've told myself, like, I'm gonna perform here one day, and I did it. And so, but for sure, like, I mean, man, one day, God willing, the Honda Center, I'm talking arenas now, you know what I mean? So, MSG, bro, like, man, like, I don't know. That would be crazy. Just arenas and the Forum, like in Inglewood or something.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah. If you can visit like any city in the world, where would you want to go?
Any city in the world. I want to visit Mecca, the holy city in Islam. I want to. I just want to.
What country is that in?
In Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to visit Mecca for sure. And then, but aside from that, you know, I want to visit like Paris, Italy. I don't know, just a lot, man. I want to go out and just travel one day too, you know. One of my main goals in life is just to go out and travel and see the world, because the world is huge, bro, and some people just, if you just stick in your city or just state, you know, like, you're missing out on life.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Yeah. So, I mean, like, I get that, like, right now, like, me personally, like, my funds aren't there, you know, but God willing, one day for sure, I want to travel. Like, I want to just go out and do something with my family or friends, you know, even just like trips, like go to Big Bear with the homies, or go to Vegas, and that's always fun to me, you know. And so
San Diego's another place that's like close.
Yeah.
You
know what I mean? So I don't know, go up north to like San Francisco or Oakland again or something. So
yeah,
it's dope.
That's one thing I'm glad I did too, because I went to community college first, but after that I transferred to Sacramento State.
Oh shit!
I never lived anywhere else other than here in Orange County, and Sacramento was a whole different experience, you know. And
I heard.
Spending 3 years there was like probably some of the better years of my life, and just experiencing a different culture. But going back to like the financial things, I think that's what's tough, like, you know, for kids, because, you know, depending on what financial situation they grew up, obviously the rich kids get to travel more, and the poor kids don't. So they're more trapped into their environment. They have that hood mentality because they never leave the hood, you know? And so it's kind of like, that's kind of a bummer to see, you know?
No,
but
that's facts, yeah.
Definitely, like, leaving in Sacramento was a huge eye-opener for me, too, you know? Cause, and then, like, the Bay Area is not too far from Sacramento, so I made plenty of trips to the Bay, Tahoe, Yosemite a few times, Chico, Humboldt, you know what I mean? Like, places like that. So it was just, like, it's cool places that, you know, they seem so far away when you're a kid, but then you're like, you know, it's like, oh, it's only a 4 or 5 hour drive. And you're like, all right, I can do that, you know?
Damn, that's crazy. That's dope, bro. I bet the environment for sure was different. You know what I mean? The air was different.
Yeah, it was fresher than
key,
bro,
you
know?
For sure.
Well, it has what do you call that? The smog was it all there all the time? But yeah.
That, cause like I remember when I was in college as well. I was part of a Umoja. Umoja, which it's a Kiswahili word for unity, and it was originally like a club for African American students, but it was dope because like my brother and I, we were like the only Asians there, and my brother was actually the president of the club, bro, and for our factor at our college, and so we had hella trips like up north. We went to Oakland, visited San Francisco, Sacramento, and you know what I mean, and just for like conferences and stuff like that. And I was thankful enough to like I'm grateful that I joined the club as well because of the free trips that I get to go on. You know, like we got to go on these trips for free. You know, and so and they gave us like money to spend out there too, which was even like a plus at that, bro.
Damn.
So I was like, damn.
Especially as a college kid.
Yeah, man. And we was the first night in Oakland, we was walking the streets of Oakland, and I remember our advisors they were like, "Yo, don't walk around Oakland. It's dangerous."
Mm-hmm.
Bro, we didn't care. Bro. As soon as it hit like 9 p.m., everybody was like in their rooms, bro. We all like, all right, yo, sync up. You know what I mean? Everybody was outside, bro.
Nice.
From different schools too, and that was dope because we met from people from like Sacktown. We met people from San Diego. That just all around Cali, and it was just dope. It was. I love shit like that. I love meeting new people and like networking. So.